When you're yoked, it's two animals that are tied together. There's a thing around each of their necks tied together. They have to go in the same direction. That's what it means to be equally yoked. If I'm trying to go to New York and you're trying to go to LA, we are not equally yoked. We're going in different directions. So if I'm trying to move through to marriage and you're trying to have a situationship, we are not equally yoked. So what we do is we choose people that we know are outside of the vision or the purpose or the plan for our life because we're operating from desperation and fear instead of powerful choice. What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of It's Giving. I am your host, Sarah Fontenot, and if you have not yet, please, if you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that little button below so you can get subscribed. Hit that little bell so you get a notification with each new piece of content. Now, today, guys, we're in for a treat because number one, it's our birthday today. But by the time this airs, it's been our birthday, and we are now officially in our second year. But number two, this is the first time we have ever gone live on any platform. So I am super duper excited because y'all, the givers, have shifted the way that we run our show. What that means is y'all keep asking us questions, y'all keep sending in videos, and we could literally do 100 episodes just from what you guys are doing and what you're sending in. So thank you for that. Thank you for inspiring us and helping us create this show together because we all in this together. And guys, okay, we just gonna jump right in. So without further ado, you know we got Anissa on the mic, baby. What's up?
What's up, Sarah?
Hey, girl.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. So do you. Thank you, girl. We got shot by Anissa, not with a gun, but with a camera, okay? Period. And we got Kenny over here, producer of the year. What's up, Kenny?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Rocking these switchboards. What's up, baby? All right. So, Anissa, are we starting with questions or are we starting with response videos?
Yeah. So this is new. So I'm pulling from the live. People are already asking us questions from the live stream. So what's up, Brock?
You keep shouting out
because he keeps saying, "Hey." Okay, it's the Trevor Rashad Smith says, "How do you feel when someone in a relationship?" How do you feel when you're with somebody in a relationship that is battling addiction? Like, how would you navigate that? You wouldn't be, but how would you navigate that?
Oh my gosh. You know what I think of? I think about when people are married and let's say you get into a car accident and you have to be on morphine and then you get addicted to morphine because stuff like that does happen. Or let's say that you lose a child when you're married and then you turn to alcohol and you become an alcoholic. Like those are real life things that happen. And I think for me, I would ask the question of, I understand that there's a season that could be dark. There's a season that could be heavy. There's a season that could be a different version of you that I really don't like and I've never seen. But are you committed to the season or are you committed to making this our life? Are you willing to battle your way out of the addiction?
Could you date? Oh, excuse me. Could you date a pothead? Somebody who smokes a lot of weed?
I would never. I would absolutely never. But that's the thing. Like, what is it? What, like, I don't know. You've got to find a way to not be, you can't be committed to the season of grief for the rest of your life. You got to be willing. You know what I learned about me?
What?
I don't associate with victims because I don't relate to weak. So for me, if you are not doing the work to help yourself, and sometimes, let's be clear, when you're going through the hardest time of your life, sometimes getting through the day is already work enough, right? I can understand that. And I've been in those times where it's like, I can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. It's feeling real dark around here. It's real black, right? I've had those experiences. And at the same time, I've never quit. People in the outside world would never even really know what I was going through. So are you committed to that? What is this face? This is, I wish y'all could have just saw, she just looked at me like this.
Because Brock gets on my nerves, man. Brock says,
the live is going on.
Right, it's going crazy.
People are talking for real?
Yes, Brock said, what if you are addicted to sex? And that was
You better choose somebody that's sexually compatible. If that's your addiction, you know that since you've been having sex. So if that's your addiction, then I think that's great. But you better be with somebody that is also addicted to sex, so y'all could be addicted to one another.
That is crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
What?
Besides that. Okay, coming from somebody who is literally diagnosed as hypersexual.
Wow, I didn't know there was a diagnosis of hypersexual.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what does that mean?
It's like you have hypersexuality and then you have nymphomaniac, right? So nymphomaniac is like the one side of the spectrum.
Wait, what's sex addict?
Somebody.
Where does that go on the spectrum?
The spectrum is sex addict. Like, say for instance, this is the spectrum.
Oh,
and sex addict is the spectrum, and then you have levels to the sex addiction.
Got it.
You have people who were hypersexual like me, who were just like, I needed to have it like multiple times a day, every day.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I can't relate.
Yeah,
where do you find the time?
I'm not okay, Sarah. I'm
sorry, my brain. Okay, back to you.
But then you have people who, like, I don't know if anybody is aware of the movie Black Snake Moon with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I don't remember it though.
Yeah, but the white girl was like the biggest sex addict, and she was like, any place, anywhere, anyone can get it at any time, and they don't care about their health, their safety, their family. Like, they will risk it all to do that, to get that. Yeah.
You know, I think I'm scared of anyone that is victim to their vices.
Somebody said,
did you hear what I said?
You said you can't deal with somebody.
No, I said I'm scared of anyone that is victim to their vices.
What do you mean? Oh, okay.
Like, whether your addiction is alcohol, sex, drugs, pornography, pedophilia.
What?
Whatever your addiction is, if you don't have you got to get a hold of it.
You said a lot with the pedo.
I'm just saying, whatever your thing is, like if you're a victim of it, if it runs you, I'm terrified of anyone that's ran by their vices, because you don't have control. And I've said this before, I really feel like one of the highest values of a high value human is to have self-control, self-discipline, self-awareness. If you don't have those things, it will forever be impossible for you to be a high value person.
Yeah, I agree. This live is going crazy. Are you
okay?
Are you also looking at the live?
No.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Did I just have a you moment?
No. Yes. Probably. Okay, back to you.
All right. Our girl Athena. Hey, Athena girl.
Hi.
Athena said, how do we feel? She said a we, because it's a we thing.
Oh.
How do we feel about getting married after 1 year of dating? Why did you the face, Sarah?
Did I do a face?
Yes,
I did. What did it say?
It looks like what? Like, bitch, what? A what?
Okay, this is the thing. If I'm thinking of, okay, how old are we?
We are the age that we are.
Well, I'm big grown.
Let's say Athena's age 27.
No.
Why not?
Athena, we talked about this. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I feel like if you know yourself and you know that you're ready for what marriage is, which, by the way, none of us really know what marriage is because we're not prepared for it. We've never learned about it. We've never been taught how to be inside of a marriage. But if you do feel like you're prepared to take that journey, then you know better than anyone. I don't think society or your mom or your dad or your auntie or your uncle or your grandparents should be able to tell you when to get married, because ultimately you have to know that you're ready for compromise. You have to know that you're ready to do the work. You have to be ready for effective communication. And you have to know how to fight. I feel like a lot of the times the thing inside of relationships that go wrong is like people start fighting each other instead of fighting the issue. This is not a me against you thing. If we're truly in a partnership, how do I bring you the reassurance you need? How do you bring me the reassurance I need to get it together and move powerfully forward?
I like that. I feel like that's hard for you to navigate in your 20s because you don't even know who you are yet in your 20s.
Also, she's 28. Back to you.
Athena's not 28.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not. She's 27.
Athena, how old are you?
Athena's 27, bro.
Put it in the chat.
Okay. Hey, Tay. Tay is on the line.
Okay. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, baby.
Tay has asked, what advice do you have for dating in the midst of following your career?
That's a really great question, Tay. And I also feel like it's hard when you're a feminine woman to date following your career, because ultimately, and remember guys, because I'm speaking to people that want high value masculine men and women that want to be high value feminine women, or want the other, you know what I mean? The men that want the women that want the men.
Mm-hmm.
So does you following your career impede upon the way that you're able to show up in your partnership? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, there is no balance. Balance doesn't exist. The best that you can do is be where your feet are, right? I once saw this one, I was at an event, and at the event, the person was talking about how, you know, actually, no, it was me. Oh, I'm so funny. I cracked myself up. So if you think about a heartbeat, right, there's ups and downs in a heartbeat, but balance, which is flat like this is flatline, death. Right? So anything in the middle is dying. It's better to have it be drastically great or drastically bad. Really, we want drastically great, but then for you to be in that middle dead zone. So just be where your feet are. Give 100% to what it is that's in front of you. Prioritize your priorities. A lot of us waste time doing things we don't need to do. But if you want a masculine man, you're going to have to be accessible. You're going to have to be available kind of when he wants you to be those things. And you get to figure out what that looks like inside of your relationship. But that's just...
So is it fair to say that women who are in their career that are not necessarily worried or like subconsciously thinking about finding a man isn't in her career enough? Because I honestly feel like the person, like if you are, like you said, where your feet are, right? If I believe that your person will find you where you are. So if you are focused on self and you are where your feet are, that will happen. It would happen the very second I feel like you pour all of the energy that you will pour into somebody else into yourself. Does that make sense? Because it's like, I feel like once the woman starts looking, she's out of her femininity.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think a woman should go looking.
Not necessarily looking, but
women, you know what? Femininity doesn't look. Femininity positions. We put ourselves in position to be seen. Which is very strategic and very intentional, by the way. But we don't necessarily go looking like, oh, I'm looking for this man, I'm looking for that man. But I do think that there's like every relationship I've ever been in, and I hate that I'm wired this way. I hate it. I hate it with my whole heart. I wish I could be one of those women that are like, I'm working hard. I've worked so hard in my career, and I have. And then the second that I get into a relationship, my thing starts to do this, which I powerfully choose, by the way, because I go into being helpmeet for my partner, and his thing starts to do this. Now we are doing this together, but it's like you almost forfeit a piece of the levels of success that you could have when you choose a masculine, high value man. And you just have to decide who's worth doing that for.
I like that. I love that. Next question.
Okay. Is it still from the people? Let me see. I just came on here.
Trail said it's okay to be a passive censor. Eyes open when a good person comes around.
Oh, someone said you have to make space for a high value man. True. Be where your feet are. That's a bar. Thank you, Brock. Shout out to Brock. Oh, what's up, Dominique? Oh, Dominique said, in today's day and age, how does someone date that likes the get to know process in an age of test driving the car before buying it? That's a good question.
Yeah. Like as soon as they be like, oh, I like you. Oh, I like you too. Let's
get naked in a bed and
do the sex.
Let's partake in some acrobatics.
Let's do the sex. We like the sex.
Honestly, I feel like the more that you act like the person that you want to be, the more you attract the people that want that same thing. We attract who we attract because we're attractive, right? Our essence, our energy, we do the best with our aesthetic. That's attractive, but your vibe really attracts your tribe along with everything else. So we just have to have a discerning eye to sort through the BS. If a man's not willing to wait for you, he doesn't like you for real. You don't get to test drive me.
Wait, back up. Say that one more time.
If a man is not willing to wait for you, he does not like you. Now, I think where women go wrong is because women, number one, think they have to have sex to keep a man, which is absolutely not the truth. And number two, I think the thing about it is they think that because he's not having sex with you, that he's not going to have sex with anybody else. Dating does not mean possession. I do not own that man. So if you want to be out here and go sleep with whoever you want to sleep with, you should do that.
You want to know something? I just had a friend that was in a debacle with a guy that she was dating, and he got upset at her because she told him like, hey, I'm dating you and somebody else. And he felt like the very second he let her know of her interest in her, that he should just like
that's selfish.
Cut everybody else.
I think that's selfish. And I think this goes with, and I might get eaten alive for saying this, but I'm just going to come out and say it. Okay.
Okay.
So we have to remember that as women, technically our value, do you see what I'm doing here? Our value is only as long as we are able to create legacy in societal views. Right?
Okay.
There's obviously there's a lot of different ways to bring value. But really and truly, bearing the legacy of your partner is one of the greatest honors that a woman has an opportunity to do. Are you with me? So if that's what that woman is doing, then realistically speaking, women, we have this way of meeting someone that we like and then cutting off all other options. But you haven't really taken the time to vet that person that you think that you like. You just kind of like them a little bit more than everyone else. So you start giving all your attention to this one person when that one person hasn't given you the experience, hasn't given you the actions, hasn't given you, maybe he's given you the words, but probably hasn't even given you the words that are in agreement with what it is that you want for your life. So now you're throwing away options that could have actually been in alignment with what you want for your life by choosing this one person. One of the biggest opportunities that we have as women is to date multiple people. That does not mean be sexually active with multiple people.
And see, that's what people get confused, like, because they feel, a lot of people feel entitled to your body just because they say they're dating you. And I think that it's just so far.
There's no way.
And that's why dating has such a bad rap, because normally in today's societal standards, if y'all dating, y'all like normally, like that's how it is. Like, just being honest.
No, I'm just kidding because he knows the timestamp. Go ahead.
Sorry. It's just no, but seriously, like that's real. And I feel like that's a lot of reason why women dating multiple men at one time is so frowned upon, because he automatically equates that to, oh, she has multiple sex partners, because that may be projection though, because he knows if he was dating multiple women.
He has multiple sex partners. But you know what? For me personally, I make it clear. I'm abstinent, but I am dating. And when that changes, it changes. And if it does change, then it will change. But I think that it's important for women to understand you should absolutely be dating multiple people. We only have but so much time before it becomes dangerous to create legacy. How do you do that? How do you compound time? By figuring out who it is that you like.
I think so. Do you find it difficult? This is a me asking you thing.
Oh,
do you find it difficult to stay abstinent while dating? Because I know the conversations we have in person, because we're friends in real life. Do you find it hard, Miss Fontenot,
I'm just getting put on Front Street.
Yeah, girl, this is the first live show. Why not? Do you find it hard? Sometimes it's just a simple like,
okay, let's talk about it. Okay, do I find it hard to be abstinent? Sometimes, yes. Honestly, though, the way that I am, I don't let people get intimate enough with me to a space where I would even feel comfortable with them with sleeping with that person. I don't expose myself in that way. It's like if I never take my clothes off, how do we have sex? If we're never and
please say if you were never in my bedroom, we're not.
So that's the thing. What? There's a little, okay, so let me just keep it a buck, okay? If I let you in my bedroom, that means so much to me.
Okay.
Like, let's just keep it, I'm not even talking about sex. Because sleeping is way more intimate than sex, to be honest. It is.
It is.
It is.
It's intimate.
Someone could take you out in your sleep. What do you mean?
I mean, you're right.
It's so intimate. So if I let you into my bedroom, that's a huge deal. I'm not out here letting a bunch of men into my bedroom.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody said
she ain't hear nothing I said. Okay,
no.
back
You
to the
said you're
comments.
not letting multiple people in your bedroom.
Go ahead.
You said that.
I'm
I
ready.
heard you. Somebody said dating multiple people equals not available.
I disagree with that.
Mhm.
I strongly disagree with that because we have to compound time. And I think one of the silliest things that we as women can do is commit to someone that doesn't want what we want. And sometimes we're like, oh, I like this person enough. We have similar hobbies. We have some good chemistry. That does not mean compatibility. That does not mean alignment. That does not mean similar core values. That does not mean similar foundation that you're ready to build. What if that person wants to build a freaking tiny home and this person over here wants to build a mansion? You don't have the same tools, nor do you have the same vision, nor are you ready to put in the same amount of work. So you only find that out by experiencing people. You have to place boundaries around the sexual part of it. And in that, you either make a good friend that you don't have to cut off, in the future because you've never crossed that line, or you just like, nah.
Do you feel like women and men, this is either or, do you feel like men and women who've had sex in the past
can be friends? No. Absolutely. But wait, can my man be friends with someone he's had sex with?
I mean, essentially,
no.
But essentially, yes. What I'm saying is,
can I be friends with some? Well, I can be until I get a man.
Elaborate.
It is so disrespectful for me to have men around my man that I've been intimate with. I would never do that. Like, I just feel like that's so like
a slap in the face. Why you have your man looking stupid?
You have him looking dumb. I'm never gonna let my man look
especially if
dumb.
he doesn't know.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, but my man, I don't have like a.
But essentially, that's how it works, though. Like if a woman has male friends that she's been intimate with, and then she gets a boyfriend and brings the boyfriend around, essentially he does not know that these men that she's being brought around slept with his girl.
No, he would know because I would tell.
That's you. You're an exception to the rule. You're
not,
an alien.
I'm not having my man out here looking dumb.
But I'm telling you, that's how it normally happens. I know you won't, but I'm saying that's what people do, though.
I think that's so disrespectful. I think that's disrespectful, and I think that's weak. I think it's weak because that's somebody trying to hide a part of their past because they're afraid of what their man might think, or they're afraid. No. And why are you holding on? People only hold on to their exes because they want a chance of going back. I am willing to burn every bridge, light this joint on fire myself. Let me get some kerosene and a match and toss that joint to the bridge for my man. Period.
Somebody said that they have those friendships as long as there is boundaries.
No, it's inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate. And now I'm not saying that there's a right way or a wrong way. For me, though, I think it's inappropriate. So what is that? You just said, what was that to? Because you're reading.
Somebody asked, what if y'all were teenagers? Like, what if this happened years and years and years ago?
Friends with? Inappropriate. No, I cannot be friends with someone that I slept with. Can I be cordial with you? Yeah. Hey, what's up? Why? I'm not friends even now with half the women I went to high school with. What do I look like being friends with the guy I was in a relationship with in high school? It's weird to me. I think it's disrespectful. And I don't think that a high value masculine man is going to be okay with you being around men that you've slept with. Period. End of story.
They're not.
Now, if you want a different type of man, if you want a man that's okay with you doing whatever, that's cool. We ain't talking about them though.
I feel as though because men see sex as conquer, right? Like a conquering thing. Like no real masculine man wants to be in a room with his woman and also have other men who have conquered his woman in the room with her and with them collectively acting like, what's up, friend? Like, no, we're not friends.
We're not friends. And also, this is one thing about men, especially masculine men. You have to remember masculine men have ego. And if masculine men have ego, I'm not going to let some other dude puff up on my dude. That's wild to me. Right? So, and men are looking, especially when you're that guy, they're looking for ways. Oh, I bet he doesn't know I smashed his girl. Oh no, he does know. And he doesn't care. because bigger. You know, whatever it may be. You know what I mean?
Dang.
I'm just saying whatever it could possibly be. It's literally like there's no surprises. And now also you're powerfully choosing me. I don't operate in fear. I operate inside of what is the truest for me, which is transparency, honesty. Yes, we all have a past. Yes, we've all been with people. Okay, great. And if you live in a world where those worlds are small enough that they overlap, and I hate that for whoever that is, you have to, I just feel like there's a respect, there's a code of ethics.
Somebody said that sex is an energy transfer, not conquering. I believe it's both. And this is the reason why I believe it's both. Because let's go back before this modern day society came about. In the traditional days or the olden days or the old school, as your mom called it earlier this morning, women were like a precious thing that couldn't be touched. Like they were like, that's when women were virgins and still lived with their parents and had morals and standards, and they wasn't asking for $100 to buy a salad. No, seriously, like if you think of a man who he was taught to provide and protect and make a foundation to have a family, and then he's just minding his business and he sees this beautiful woman walks by. Yeah. Back then in those standards, all women were virgins, or the majority of them were. Yeah. Right? So he already knew like, oh, I have to win her over. Yeah. I have to win her over. It was a game, like not a game, like but you can play with my feelings, but it's a conquering. Yeah. Like, and so it is a thing because men have to, like you said in our podcast, achievement and like those are all masculine things. Yes. So like, and it's the same thing with a woman. Yeah. You know, people don't like to hear it because like women feel objectified, that feel like they're something to be conquered, but it's the truth. Like a man, he's in his divine masculine, minding his business, and then he comes across this gorgeous woman that he just feels like in his core he needs to have her and will do anything that means get all the sheep and oxen that he has. I'm sorry, I'm going way back in the days, but that's real though. But also women even back then came with a dowry. It wasn't only men that had money. Men made money, but women came from a family with money. So they offered something too. There's just so much that people have messed up in this today's day and age. But essentially, I just feel like no masculine man is going to be okay with you getting smashed by every man in sight. And he's not going to be okay with you being okay with having that energy either. You know? Yeah. I just feel like a lot of modern day women are so stuck on what do you mean make me your wife? Like I watch videos and like, what do you mean stuck on what do you make me your wife? Like women don't like the term of feeling like they don't have a choice. A choice to what? Of like they don't like make me your wife. Like what do you mean by make me? He's like, and the man, they don't understand like the man has to find the woman and then choose her, and she can either accept or deny. Like the woman doesn't have that power, the man does. Does that make sense? Am I explaining this properly? I feel like I'm not. I think what you're saying, actually, Brock and I don't know if he's still on here or not, but Brock and I had that conversation of men sleep with who they can, women marry who they want, men marry who they want, women sleep with who they can, or they marry who they can. So I think that's what you're saying. It's the other way around. No. Men sleep with who they can and marry who they want. Yeah, that's what I said. I think, okay. Yeah. I don't know. But if that's what you're saying, I agree, ultimately the marriage. But then again, we had another person that asked earlier this morning about women that are now proposing to their men. I could never. I would never. I could never. I would never. Somebody said that wasn't the question. Was it sex or next? No, we are saying that you cannot be friends with an ex that you've had sex with when in another relationship. That's disrespectful to your next partner. I think it is. I agree. I think it's disrespectful to your partner. And it's like a safeguard, like, because it's like, why do you feel the need to have men around you that you've been intimate with when you're in a relationship? It's because you don't feel like this relationship is going to last, and you don't feel the point of cutting these people out of your life. So it's like, in that sense, why are you even in the relationship if you
Yeah.
don't feel like this person is worth cutting off all the people that you I say all the people.
They
that sounds
did.
so bad.
They are walking corpses. I can't even have a conversation with you because you're dead. I will just never. It's just giving never for me. You know? Friends, we could be cordial. Hey, good to see ya. All right. I'm out.
Somebody said, imagine getting on one knee as a woman. Never.
All caps.
Somebody said keeping your ex is a backup plan. I know that's right.
I agree.
Somebody asked, what if you and the ex have legit business together?
Get somebody else to run it.
Sarah.
Get somebody else to do it.
Sarah, you're talking about possibly uprooting somebody's life.
Get somebody else to do it. I'm sorry. First of all, you got to remember who we're talking to, Anissa.
Mm-hmm.
Masculine, high-value men are successful already. They don't care about your business or how much money you bring. They care about your business in the sense that you're doing what you love, but they don't care how much money you're bringing to the table.
This is true. Men do not care about how
you
much
think
money
for
you make.
1 second he's going to be like, yeah, baby, it's okay for you to keep working with your ex? No, absolutely not. It's a shot at his ego.
Somebody said, the King X, aka Michael. What's up, Michael? He said, I think not being able to allow someone to have a friend is weak and insecure.
I think that's your prerogative, and I love that for them. I think it is so disrespectful to be friends with people that you've slept with. I think there's
when you're in a relationship or just in general?
Oh, when you're in a relationship.
Okay, when you're in a relationship. Fine.
And if when you're single, it's because that's a backup plan. You want to keep that door open.
That's true.
And that's fine. But keep it a buck.
Yeah,
don't be
real.
This is my friend. Y'all ain't really friends, because as soon as you get in a relationship, the relationship is going to change.
Yeah. And then, especially if you feel like you can't tell that other person.
Yeah. Now we're being deceptive.
Yeah. Like
it's giving no. Okay. Let's move on to another question, because I feel like we're not even getting to we usually would have hammered out
3 questions.
8 questions by now.
Somebody asked.
Yeah.
Can you forgive your husband for talking to other women on a dating app? Husband. Let's emphasize husband.
Did you find out after or before?
After they were married?
No. Did you find out after he was talking to women on a dating app? Did she find out after?
After they got married?
No. After he did the act. Did she find out that he was doing it after he did it?
How could you find out before? I'm confused.
Did he tell you that he was going to be talking to women on a dating app?
Of course he didn't.
Did he? We don't know. I don't want to assume.
Let's assume that he didn't. Let's assume that she caught him.
The question is, how do you forgive him?
Can you forgive him? I mean, you can.
You can do anything.
Yeah, you can.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Is he worth it? Is he willing to do the things that are going to reassure and rebuild your trust? Ultimately, is he willing to move powerfully inside of his leadership? Is he willing to cut off what needs to be cut off to make you feel, or not even make you feel, but to be the man that he has shown you to be in the past?
She says after, but he never told me he got caught.
Well, that's hard. I personally don't like surprises. Personally, I don't want to find out after.
Okay, so let's say I'm your man. Let's say I'm your man. And I come to you and be like, Sarah, I love you. But I'm starting to feel like I want to explore new options. I love you. I don't want to end what we have. I just feel as though I want to, open up our relationship. Like, how do you feel about that?
I would say, what does that mean? You have to remember how I think, but let's do it the afterwards. Let's say you got caught. You got caught messaging on a dating app and we're married.
Okay.
Now, ladies, am I here? I'm here. Ladies, I am about to give you the biggest hack you have ever had in your entire life. And it takes so much emotional regulation and patience to exercise, and then conditioning that again and again and again and again and again, where you can actually do this consistently. The biggest life hack is share how you feel with your partner. A masculine man that loves you will fix the problem. When you share how you feel with your partner, what's going to happen without wronging him He's going to do whatever he's going to do. His actions are going to speak loud for him, okay? His actions are going to speak. Now, your job is to never bring it up again. That's the hard part. So let's say somebody got caught. Why would you do that? Ask all the questions. You got all this time. And as I process, maybe I have another question. Maybe you've created a space where it's okay for you to, you can table it for later, but make that clear. So maybe it's, well, why is that? What is it that you're looking for? I have questions. Like, this is immediately what's coming up in my mind. What are you looking for? Why would you do that?
Would you ever consider being in an open relationship in real life?
I don't know.
Okay, let's just say you're in a relationship with not the most masculine man, but a masculine man that is right for you, that you feel like checks off all of the boxes. And then he doesn't surprise you, but he comes to you and be like, hey, I kind of want to open this up. Like,
my mindset is so different because I'm so logical. I don't feel like a man having sex with another woman means he loves me less. I just don't believe that. And because I don't believe that, maybe, but I've only ever been monogamous. But I do want to say, for the women, an example of what you would say to your partner would be something along the lines of, I feel really hurt. I feel betrayed and I feel disrespected. I don't want to feel this way. Is this what you want? Do you want to be dating and dealing with other women? So you can start to and do the things. He's going to tell you whatever he's going to tell you. Now, I'm not saying you ain't no good, you a liar, you a because men don't hear that. It doesn't register. But if you fall into your feminine, he's going to want to solve the problem. Then what's going to happen is, are you with me?
Yes.
What's going to happen is, as you start to have that conversation, he's either going to say, well, I did it because XYZ, or I don't know what his response is going to be. What I do know is, you get to table that conversation if you still need to process. Okay, well, this is, how I feel. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. End with where are we going to go from here? Okay, great. In the next time you have that conversation, you're not wronging that man. If you need more closure or you need more understanding, that's okay. But coming up and dealing with your non-regulated emotions and then projecting those onto him are not okay.
So, okay, let me ask you this. How do you feel? And nobody's asking these questions. This is me asking you this time.
Okay.
How do you feel about people who use the excuse as, like, they use this excuse to be poly, that I don't believe love is possession, so I would rather be poly. I genuinely feel like it's because they have a lack of dick discipline. Like, that's not a good enough excuse to want to have multiple women because you feel like love is possession, because love isn't possession. I feel like that is a cop-out. That's what you want to say it is because you've never mastered the art of loyalty and commitment. So you feel like, oh, well, because I feel like I'm having a hard time, obviously love is this, so I'm going to use this as an excuse to have multiple people in my arsenal. And I think that's crazy.
Yeah, I think for me, what I think about inside of that situation is, number one, for the men that want to be poly, what does your bank account look like? Because let's be perfectly clear. In other cultures, if we're talking about poly, the men take care of their wives. They provide for their families.
All of them.
They have the land.
All of
they
them.
have the food.
For all of
they
them.
have for all of them. A lot of men out here want to be poly and broke at the
Be
same
broke.
time. And those don't make any sense
Like,
to me.
how?
Now, this is the thing. If you want to be out here and you don't, because there are so many, I know I talk a lot to the women, but for the men, there are a lot of drifting men out here too that will have women drifting with them because women are searching to find that lead, right? So I strongly feel like, why not just keep it a buck? Just be honest and say, I want to have an open relationship. I want to be open. That's not, poly and open are not the same. You get to sleep with whoever you get to sleep with. I'm going to sleep with whoever I want to sleep with. We are not in a committed relationship. Poly has rules to the game. There's standards to the game. And most people, they don't even really know what poly means.
They don't. This is a really good question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Somebody asked, what if you're dating a man and everything is going good? He works, owns his own home, is respectful, looks out for you, no kids, and likes to travel. And then you hear rumors that he's gay.
Did you ask him? I would ask.
She said you have no proof. You just hear rumors.
I would go directly to the source.
Would you?
Yes.
You know, women have been killed for that, right?
No. I mean, sure. That's probably true what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I feel like really and truly, like this is the thing too. Women get killed. Those men that kill women are probably actually gay. And they're so closeted that they can't digest the fact that their identity would be looked at in a different way. And they project that anger and that rage on someone else. The truth is, humans are human. And if I have done a good job of making you feel and know that you are safe inside of your vulnerability and your truth with me, anyone that knows me, what do I call the secrets I never tell anyone, Anissa?
Vaulted?
Yes. Vault life.
Yeah.
Anyone that knows me knows that I have vault life, which means whatever you tell me, I'm not telling anybody else.
Yeah.
There are things right now inside of this city where people have done me dirty. They have speculated, they have gossiped, they have downright lied on my name, and I still won't tell the truth about them, which outweighs all the BS that they've ever made up about me because I have got code with myself. So if I've done a good enough job of creating that safe space for my person or for my friend, or for whoever, you know that when I come to you, I'm not accusing you of being gay. I'm seeking understanding. And I want to know is who I am, what you actually want. Because maybe you're a better best friend. Maybe we can act, we can still do all the things. We can go to movies, we can hang out, we can this, that, or the other, but we're not intimate.
Would you be able to do that with a man that you dated and you found out that he was gay? Would you be able to have that type of relationship with him?
Well, I haven't slept with him. So yes. That is why dating and being abstinent is so powerful. So if you are sleeping with men, and look, I ask the question. You want to know the question that I ask, Anissa?
What's that?
I ask men that I am dating, have you ever been with another man?
What?
Have you ever been with another man? Now, that's not date number one question that I ask, but I have the question. I want to know.
Do you have like a list of questions that you ask people?
No, I just feel it out. I don't have a list. I should probably make one though. I feel like they're all probably pretty similar.
She said, yes, and he said that it's not true. Yes, she asked and he said it's not true.
What does your heart say? What does your intuition say?
I feel like that's if you know deep down that you feel it, like even if it's a small still voice, you never like overlook that. You always have to listen to that. I feel like that's God's way of telling you like,
I think our intuition is much stronger than we give it credit for. And if we just honor that, I feel like we know some questions we don't even really need the answers to personally.
We have another good question.
Okay.
People are asking some great questions.
They are. Kenny's so quiet over there.
Yeah.
I'm just tuning into all the text stuff right now.
Oh, okay.
60 plus live. We have over 300 comments basically at this point.
Woo!
Like it's going great.
Oh, it's our first time.
There's nothing going on right there.
Yeah, I don't know the time.
I know that. That's because it's only connected to the computer, not the program.
I was looking at it too because that's my barometer.
Right now we're at 46 and a half minutes.
Oh, glory to God. Great.
Okay, we're doing good.
Yay. Somebody asked,
Mm-hmm.
put this right here. If you are with a man and he falls on hard times, how long are you willing to support your union until he gets back on his feet?
Now, let me take it back a step. There's a difference between potential in action and potential in theory.
What do you mean?
I mean, if someone falls on hard times and they're like, I'm going to get back up, babe. I'm going to get back in the streets. But every day they're sitting at home watching Netflix, or they're talking about how frustrated they are, or they're hanging out with their boys, drinking beer or smoking weed. I don't choose you. I cannot choose you. But if you have fallen on hard times, because this happened to me, one of my exes moved in with me for a year. We never lived together. We didn't say, let's move in together. It was, come stay with me as an adult. Like, come stay with me. You're spending $30,000 a month at this hotel. Come stay with me. Save yourself some money, And so at least save that amount of money. And in a year, he was doing a damn thing back up, to whatever he was used to and saving thousands of dollars every month on one expense that he didn't have to have. And I never looked at that man as less of a man.
Mm-hmm.
I never looked at him as someone that I didn't respect because he was still doing the deal. It just took and anybody that's ever been successful knows that it's up and down.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's on an upward trajectory, but it's all over the place. You know, it's literally a heartbeat.
So I would get a follow-up question. This is not from the giver. This is from me. What are some tips that women can use to not emasculate a man even though they feel like he's in his feminine? Like, because like you said, when a man falls on hard times, sometimes women equate that to like emasculation. Like they equate that to that, and they automatically go to like berate him, talk at him, you know. They don't know how to, like, how do you speak life into a man that you are losing hope for, in a way? Like, he's not doing what you thought he's not living up to the potential that you know he has, but you still see a glimmer of hope, and you don't want to come off as a disrespectful person that's adding on to stress. Like, how do you speak into that man?
Whew, that's such a loaded question. When I think about what does it take for a woman, well, for starters, love is fleeting because it's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are choosing, and I mean powerfully choosing your partner, that means there's already a mission that you have and a purpose that you have inside of your partnership or inside of your marriage.
Right.
So if you fall on hard times, I'm not so much as committed to you as I am to our mission. I'm submitted to the God that's within you, right? So really and truly, just because you fall on hard times, why would I talk crazy to you when I'm submitted to the God that's within you? That's like talking crazy to God. And if really there's anyone to talk to, it's for me to talk crazy to myself for choosing someone whose mission I shouldn't have been submitted to in the first place. And I think that that's what a lot of women do. They don't take accountability for bad partner choice. Because they'll take anything and everything trying to avoid or trying to cure themselves from warm body syndrome. I'd rather have someone in my bed than to have no one. I don't want to be lonely because my mom and my dad said I should be married by now. When actually being alone, which is different from lonely, is really powerful. So I think that one way to not emasculate your partner is to choose a man that you actually respect. Because money doesn't equate to a good man. Money it's not the only thing that equates to a high value masculine man. And any high value masculine man that's made money can make it again. And if you are so inside of your own selfishness that you can't be human for a second and understand where that man is coming from, then you don't deserve the man that he's going to build himself into. And you're also not committed to the mission that y'all have decided together. So number one, partner choice. Number two, what's the mission? What's the point?
What's the purpose? Yeah.
What's the purpose?
Yeah.
Right. And then number three, have that man's back. Write it out. You know, like, yes, it's great to be a little passenger princess. I love being a passenger princess. Yes, please. But also, you got to be a warrior and a princess. He's not choosing you because you get to look good all the time. You've got to be a good choice for him too. So to not emasculate, speak life into that man. Damn, baby, I know it's hard right now, but you're doing such a good job.
Speak to the king in him.
Speak to the God in him.
Ooh.
You know? He's so silly. You so silly.
No, I'm saying somebody said Sarah for president. I agree.
They are hilarious.
I agree. Somebody, wait a minute. There was some more. There's so many questions. Y'all loving this live show. Okay. What is the time frame for dating and spending time without sex? Somebody says, in my situation like that turned into close friendships that now I can't look at them sexually. What is the time frame for like dating without sex? Yeah, like how long should a person go in a dating relationship?
As long as it takes.
As long as what takes?
The vetting process.
Oh, and that's different from person to person.
Yeah. Okay. I think there might be a person, it's 2 weeks. Might be a person you feel good next day. Might be a person you feel good 3 months. Might be a person that's a year. I don't know the answer.
Brock said you're Xena, the warrior princess.
He's so funny. I say that all the time.
Do you?
Yeah,
Oh.
you know I say that. I'm like, I'm Xena, the warrior princess.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I had a
because
squirrel
my
moment.
name actually means princess.
Princess, yes.
And woman of many virtues.
It does.
Yeah.
And this is true. You
Yeah.
live up to that. This is why it's important to
Choose the name powerfully of your child.
choose the name properly of your children.
Baby.
Somebody asked, could you date an atheist?
No,
Let me finish the question.
absolutely not. But go ahead, sure.
But he is open to going to church. He's open to church and going to at least understand your beliefs.
No. Your identity is inside of you don't believe. I can't. There's gotta be an anchor in your life. Okay, let me say this. I consider myself to be one of the strongest people that I know. I'm strong as hell. I can get through anything and all things. I can do it with a smile on my face, poise, and positive energy. And even still, I am not strong enough for the things that life throws at me. And the only thing sometimes that I have is God. It's not my friends. It's not my family. It's not my money. It's not my partner. It's God. And that is the only integrity point with a barometer that keeps me anchored inside of knowing that I can push through. So for anyone that doesn't have faith, I can't relate because you think you're strong enough to handle it all. That's what that says to me in my brain.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I was literally telling somebody that I'm close to, because we've had like periods of talking and not talking, not romantically, but just talking and not talking. And I told him, I said, I don't even think you realize that you're more attracted to the God in me than me itself.
Ooh!
And I don't think you realize that. I said, you keep saying like, I think you're such an amazing person. I said, that's the God in me.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why you can't understand why you feel like you have to be around. It's because what's inside of me is not something that the finite mind can understand.
You know what? I said it differently. I was having Brock, if he's still on here. I was having this conversation with Brock not too long ago. And I was saying, I am not the most beautiful girl in the world. I'm not. Let's just keep it a buck. I'm cool. I'm symmetrical. Okay. But honestly, what I think people are attracted to is my energy. You know, it's the light. It is the God inside of me, you know? So I just so strongly feel like, you know, you gotta do that's the attractiveness.
Yeah. It's the energy and the God in you also.
Yeah.
So somebody asked, what helped build your poise and going through these negative experiences with a smile in your face? I think she meant smile on your face.
Well, to be honest, I saw it in my mother.
I love your mother so much.
She's so dope.
I feel like I've known her my whole life.
Yeah.
I have a deep sense of love for your mother.
Yes.
She is the most amazing woman ever.
I'm gonna need a Kleenex if I'm gonna tell the truth. Can I have a Kleenex? Because you know I'll cry. Just throw the box. Damn.
At least it landed.
Look, it's a flower. Anna did that. Just in case. Okay, so I am just so inspired by my mom. Dad, I love you too, just for the record when you see this. I love you so much. And my mom has been such an example of the kind of woman that I want to be my entire life because she has always had poise. And it goes back to the story I tell all the time of when I saw my mom crying over her homework in the middle of the night. And in a few hours, she'd have to get us all up ready for school. My dad had his back injury, all of us kids. She was a full-time student, had a full-time job, and was trying to make sure that we weren't homeless because my dad couldn't work anymore with his injury. So many different things. And I just feel like, when I think of
Don't cry, Sarah.
I can't help it.
Don't cry.
When I think of, you know, just phenomenal people, my mom is one of those people. Like someone that smiles. And even the way that I talk, I realize now because now I've had an opportunity to like assess myself, right? And like really look at where things come from. Like I got my hard-headedness, my stubbornness, my pushing boundary. That comes from my dad, right? My mom is like that with a smile. Don't ever play with her. Like everybody, you know, we might be like
a silent killer.
Oh,
she looks like that. She looks like the one that'll be like, oh, Like those are the most dangerous people.
Oh, there's like a running joke with her where she'll be like, yeah, and you just see like my face and your face from like here above. She's like, yeah. And then immediately it'll like something will happen. And next thing you know, the next person is still smiling. Like they're smiling back at her and she's smiling while she has your still beating heart in her hand. Like my mom is a ninja. So when I talk about planting seeds, when I talk about poise, when I talk about positive energy, when I talk about disposition, even the tone, even the way have you ever noticed how I talk when I talk to men versus women? Mm-hmm. My whole tone changes.
You become your mother when you're around other women.
Oh.
In the most respectful, positive way. That's a compliment.
Okay.
To me.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I didn't have that growing up. Like my mom was not that. Like my mom, like your mom was the example of how to be. My mom was the example of what not to be. So I grew up trying to figure out how to not be like that. Right. So when I bring my kids around you, who all love you.
I love them too.
My daughters love Sarah, and like just like the little things of her like eating the pizza and and I was just so like, you know, you were so like back straight, pull the table, like pull yourself in, take plate here, eat like this. And I was like, Sarah is a mom. Like Sarah is her mother. She like, but I appreciate that because it rubs off on me. And that is the weirdest thing because you don't have kids.
I know.
That is the weirdest thing. But like, it rubs off on me. It makes me more mindful of how my children maneuver, and it makes me more aware and more willing to mold into somebody that my kids want to, like when they're in their 30s, they be like, I want to be just like my mom.
I want to be just like my
You see
mom.
what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna get emotional, but it's just like, that is a big deal. I found myself, like you was there the day when we went to go shoot those skits. Naomi was sitting, I was like, sit like a lady. And you was like, ooh, like, you know.
She said, just like cross legs.
You know, because I've been telling
I was so impressed.
You know what I mean?
And she did it. Like,
yeah, because I have been on her because she has a tomboy for a mom, but I know the type of woman I want her to be. Mm-hmm. And although I'm not there yet, I feel like we can both get there together in our own way. And I feel like that is the way that I'm changing the narrative, because a lot of women, once they have kids, they feel like they have to accept for like where they are. And it's like, there's not enough room or space to change when that's just not the case. If you know that you wouldn't want your children to be like you know you have to change.
Ooh, that's a bar. And that's facts.
That's facts.
That's facts. I always say, I just want to be like my mom when I grow up. And if I've done that, I've done more than I ever thought. I've become a fraction of her would suffice, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But that's how I learned poise and energy.
Somebody asked, is your mom a Gemini?
No, my mom's a Pisces.
Really?
February 23rd.
Really?
Yeah.
We're the same birthday month. I love that.
February babies. Yeah. My mommy.
Hey, Mom. Okay.
I love her.
I love her too. Okay. Somebody says your podcast is the best. Keep doing this. I love it. Yay.
Thanks, guys. Our podcast is the best.
Oh, yes. 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 I just want to say I love you, how y'all relationship has flourished since y'all met at the event. We all worked together.
Oh, I love that.
I love it when people we know are from the beginning. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. All right. So I have to get off the live to look at the other questions.
Wait, Brock just asked a question.
What?
You should read it. I don't know. I just saw BC Shorter. Someone said, so is my mom. Do you want to read? I don't know if it's good.
Oh, I have this is a good one. I'm sorry. I missed something.
Are you in the live?
I am.
Okay.
Somebody asked, why do you think men have to learn to be understanding and how to validate a woman?
Ooh, so important. That is so important.
Why do you feel like men have to learn to be that?
Because men don't really learn compassion or vulnerability. Men learn achievement. They learn do, not be. And when you're that way, you can miss the simple humanity that comes inside of or the simple compassion that comes inside of humanity. Right? So I feel like men really, and this is, to be a dismissive men, I gotta put y'all on. Where am I at? Tell me this. Men, Look, if y'all ever hear anything that I say, if you want to get a less needy woman, if you want to have a woman that is catering to you more, that's listening to you more, that's respecting you more inside of your household, give that woman reassurance. People are only needy when their needs are unmet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
People are only needy when their needs are unmet. So if your woman is asking you for physical touch, or if your woman is asking you to hold a hand, or if your woman is asking you to say, I love you more, or whatever, does it hurt for you to be more compassionate? Does it hurt for you to reassure her? Does it hurt for you to do a little bit more for her to feel better inside of your union? No.
I just feel like a lot of men feel like being affectionate or soft towards their woman is like a sign of weakness or vulnerability that they don't want to show to the public. Like,
don't
they
choose
feel,
those men.
especially like when they're in front of their boys, like, they want to put up a front for their boys, but it's like, are you gay? Like, do you like men more?
No,
like, I'm so confused.
when I tell you reassurance goes so far. And men, a lot of men, and they have men, y'all got to do better at this. Instead of being like, man, you always tripping. No, she's not. She feels that way because her needs are not met.
Mm-hmm.
She's not tripping. And just because you don't feel that way about that doesn't mean she doesn't feel that way about that. So you could be like, man, this is stupid. But if it's important to her, then it's important to her. Do you value her enough to make her feel good where she's at? Stop being selfish. It's not about you in this moment.
Relationships are never about the person.
No.
It's always about the other person.
It's
if
not
you get
even
into
about
relationship
that. It's about the mission. It's about the purpose. It's about the alignment. It's about where it's going. It's never about me and you. We'll ruin it every single time.
So what do you feel like your purpose in a relationship is? Because honestly, I really just learned about how marriage is the byproduct of purpose. So people, like, I was talking to my friend Prophet Jeremiah, and he was like, marriage is the byproduct of purpose. And, people who are in relationships for love are wasting their time.
Period.
So like, what does purpose in a relationship look like?
I think it depends on the purpose. It's a God thing, right? I can't tell you what your purpose looks like, but.
So, okay, I guess what I'm asking, because I'm trying to figure this out for myself. I'm still trying to learn what this means. So when you say purpose, like, okay, let's take you for an example, right? You are speaker, serial entrepreneur, philanthropist, podcaster, boss babe, right? So purpose would be a man who is in the same alignment. So serial entrepreneur. So what
purpose has nothing to do with what you do. It has everything to do with who you be. It's not about achievement. It's about fulfillment. That's why you meet so many people that make money and they're miserable because they don't like who they see in the mirror. They don't like who they are. We're human beings, not human doings. Right? And so we get that confused. So number one, that's why I'm saying to be high value requires you to have self-awareness, self-control, and self-discipline. With those things, literally with those things, you will understand yourself better to understand what it is that you want to do. And stop asking the how. The how isn't up to you. That's up to God. Your job is to have the vision. Right? And get to work and allow God to use you and move you the way that you're supposed to be moved, but do the work and be consistent.
And essentially your man would have the same vision, but in his own way.
Yes.
Essentially.
Like it doesn't have to,
it doesn't have to be exact.
Yes. This goes back to being equally yoked. Right? When you're yoked, it's two animals that are tied together. There's a thing around each of their necks tied together. They have to go in the same direction. That's what it means to be equally yoked. If I'm trying to go to New York and you're trying to go to LA, we are not equally yoked. We're going in different directions. So if I'm trying to move through to marriage and you're trying to have a situationship, we are not equally yoked. So what we do is we choose people that we know are outside of the vision or the purpose or the plan for our life because we're operating from desperation and fear instead of powerful choice. You've got to get to a place of powerful choice.
I get what you're saying.
And before you can get to powerful choice, you have to have self-awareness.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. I feel like a level of accountability has to come from that. And a lot of people don't know how to be accountable, because accountability means that I have to make the decision to accept that my life is the way that it is because of every decision that I've made. And a lot of people are in their victim role right now. They want to play the victim. Accountability and victimhood can't rest in the same place. They just can't. So I feel that. So I'm about to ask this question and I may cry. I don't think you need to throw the box at me.
I'm going to.
You're going to throw the box at me. Oh.
Look at
That was actually not that bad. What's up, girl? Okay. Period. Somebody asked, how do you suggest a woman who grew up always feeling being made, oh my God.
Don't cry, I'll cry. Don't do it.
Because I struggle with this, you know? How do you suggest? I can't.
Yes, you can. Use the tissue. Don't make me cry.
How do you suggest a woman who grew up always feeling or being made to feel less than taps into her confidence?
Baby steps of progress.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly feel like one of the most beautiful ways to build confidence, number one, is to keep the promises that you made to yourself. Because this is the thing. We all have like an inner child, right? We've heard that all the time. And I like to use this analogy because it's a tail-age tale, however you say it, old tale.
Yeah.
Tell-all tale, tall tale, whatever the tale is.
A tell-all tale.
Tell-all tale. We all know the story of the child that's waiting for their dad to come pick them up, right? And mom and dad have separated, and dad is supposed to come on Friday to pick up the 8-year-old kid for the weekend. And what happens that first time when dad doesn't make it? Let's say he's supposed to be there at 6 o'clock. The 8-year-old's at the window waiting, 5:30. When's dad going to get here? Waiting. 6:30 comes along. That's okay. Dad's late. 8 o'clock comes. Baby's crying. Mom's pulling him off the couch, right? The next time that it happens, oh, dang. And what starts to happen, the more that starts to happen, the questions of why is dad not here? What's going on? Is he late? Those questions turn into statements. Those statements become, I'm not worth it. I'm not lovable. I'm not enough. And so now we're creating these limiting beliefs that become the stories that shape our lives. And so the truth is, we are all that 8-year-old kid, and we are all that father that's not showing up. What I mean by that is, we all break promises to ourselves again and again and again and again and again. And it happens so many times that after so many times, that child's like, I don't even care if dad shows up. Honestly, I don't need him. Never did, never will. Dad ain't nobody, no way. And you start to build a divide between yourself and your dad. Well, that's what we're doing. We're building a divide between our truest self and our projected self. So, number one, you've got to start making promises again to yourself and then keeping them. If I say I'm going to get up 5 minutes earlier to journal for 3 of those 5, do it. And start small. Oh my God, I journaled all 3 days. I feel good about that. If it's, I'm going to walk on the treadmill right now, just so you know, I changed my workout. I started walking on a treadmill on all the way inclined up at 3 for 8 minutes. I started at 6 minutes. Now I'm at 8 minutes. You know, I am not a cardio nothing.
No, we never do cardio.
No.
That's surprising.
It is not ever happening. But I'm trying. I've heard, number one, that it's good for my heart. My promise to myself is just get to 8 minutes. If I had come down and been like, I'm going to be on a treadmill for an hour every day, I would never go. I would break yet another promise to myself. And myself to myself would be like, see, you don't never keep your promises. I don't care if you show up for you or not. You've got to start rebuilding confidence in how you show up for you. And those small wins, it's like getting a new client. If I got 1, I can get 3. If I got 3, I can get 5. If I got 5, I can get 7. If I got 7, I can get 10. And what starts to happen is there's an excitement again. And your confidence is no different. You have to progress in the way that you treat yourself, which goes back to, again, what I believe is one of the highest forms of high value, self-awareness, self-discipline, and self-control.
I believe that my level of feeling unworthy or not good enough comes from my mom, unfortunately, because I was the kid that was the high achiever. I was the smartest in the class. I came home with, I would be like, back in the day, I think we had like 7 classes or something like that. I would be the kid that came home with 6 A's and 1 B, and my mom was like, this could have been 7 A's. I was the one that came home with 7 A's and one of the A's was a 90. She was like, that could have been a 99. So it was like, it was never enough. So like when I'm now in my adult age, I have to be the best. I have, like, there's no spectrum. It's either you're horrible or you're the best. So when I find myself in situations where where I'm bumping heads at work, or I'm not on task, but just not performing the way I should, it hits my ego. Not in such a way, like, it makes me feel like I'm not good enough, not because I've never knew the spectrum. The spectrum didn't exist for me. So it's like now when I'm, like you said, if I can get 1 client, I can get 3, I don't think that way. It's like, why I think of it like I can get anything that I want because I'm smart enough to achieve it. And when it doesn't happen, it's a hit in my character. Like, what is wrong with me? Why am I not? You see what I'm saying? So it comes from a different place. Like, I wasn't the kid waiting for my dad at the window because
Can I say something?
Sure.
And I'm going to say this with love.
Oh, Lord.
And we're on air and I might cry.
Okay.
That is a trauma response. That is a trauma response. That is you responding to, instead of asking, am I enough? You're now in a space of, let me prove to you that I'm enough. Don't cry, because I'll cry. And because I love you so much, and you know that. I hate that we're live, because then we would have been able to cut. But, I'm an emotionally connected person. But I just, number one, it's impossible to be the best always. And to think that's like perfection, right? No one is perfect. Makeup ruined. What happened to Q-tips? I just have so many questions. But literally speaking, Anissa, really and truly, I want you to know that there's going to be times where you fall short because you're human. And that's okay. Kenny, you might have to hug Anissa because I can't get up because I'm on camera. But she's crying. And I feel like one of the things that we do.
I love you so much.
That was a terrible hug, Kenny. Wrap your arms around her. Jeez Louise. That one of the things that we do as humans is we overperform and exhaust and burn ourselves out trying to prove something that was already instilled from the day we came to this planet. God said we are enough. God said we are beautifully and wonderfully made. And if you know that, then there's no space for you to feel like you have to show up as perfect. You do your best. Yes. You strive for your best. Yes. But sometimes our best is trash. 2023, I was doing my best every single day, but that was the hardest year of my life. Hardest year of my life.
Never known. And I commend you for like being still so open to receiving new levels of love, because I wouldn't have been able to do it, Sarah. I saw you do all these amazing things while clearly going through one of the hardest years of your life. And my mind can't fathom that. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure I've told you stories. You'd be like, there's just no way I can deal with that. For sure. So I just feel like strength knows strength, right? And I just feel like we have to be diligent in how we pull from each other and learn from one another. And that's why I find myself like stuck, like glued to you, because I can literally hear you in the back of my head now. You're like an inner voice. And I think that is the weird, because not even my own mother has that over me. but it's like I can hear you in the back of my head, and I'm like, I'll be in my everyday thing.
So annoying.
I'll be like,
because I be hearing me too.
you know, I was, you know, people. I'm like, the femininity is seeking the desire before it's needed.
Yes.
You know, you gotta sit pretty. And I'll be like, Sarah,
urgency.
I'll be
urgency.
like, I'm like, is this my life now? Is Sarah my inner voice? Like, but I needed that because if I would have never met you, Sarah, subconsciously, I would have never, like, I would not be the person that I am developing into. Sometimes you have to, like, I did, like last year was the hardest year of my life too. My mother died.
Yeah.
And it was just like I'm still navigating that. Yeah. And it's just like, I honestly feel like if it wasn't for you in this podcast, I would not be mentally right because it's kept me grounded. I needed to be around people who can keep me grounded and to reassure, like, you're awesome. Like, you probably
it's an us thing also.
Yeah. I think you say I always gas you, but you always be gassing me too. And I feel like if I didn't have that, my brain would have broke by now. So I just like I didn't even know that, like, thinking the way that I think is a trauma response. I just thought that it was just, it's been ingrained in me for so long. It is literally my nature. Like, I have to come in here and prove to you that I am the best.
You don't have to prove anything. You just know that you are. And what you are is enough.
Thanks.
And that's it.
Thanks.
You know what, though? A lot of people, there's like 6 basic needs, right? Tony Robbins talks about the 6 basic needs of a human being. And one of them is significance. People will live their whole life chasing significance, or they'll search their whole life chasing love and connection, or spontaneity, or stability. There's the 6 things, right? And so inside of that, once you realize what's making you tick, you can reverse engineer it and then create whatever it is that you want. So you're doing a great job. You're navigating well. You're figuring it out, fumbling on the way, picking it up, keeping it going. That's life.
And I think that's what it is. I feel like a lot of times when, like, people don't understand, like, they hear it and they like, oh, that's good, but they don't believe it. Like, when they hear failure is a part of life, or failure is a part of success, like, failure isn't like failure unless you quit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so when I hear you, you've been fumbling around the way, man, that's probably the most true statement I've heard you say, because my God, I feel like I be running into a wall almost every week.
I don't think you hit a wall. You just trip and fall, but you get back up. If you hit a wall, you can't keep going forward.
Dang.
You haven't hit no walls.
Dang.
You just fumbled.
My God. Someone said, Sarah, you are the woman and sister Anissa has always needed in her life. Thank you, Michael. That is the truth. It is. I tell her all the time, she's the big sister that I didn't want but always needed. No, because I was a tomboy, so I always wanted brothers.
No, I get it.
I never wanted like. So okay, let's go back to these questions because we don't.
No, I think we gotta call it. It's been like an hour and a half.
Oh snap!
Okay, so this is the question. We have one more solo episode to do. Do we go live? Let us know in the comments. What camera am I on? Okay, let us know in the comments right now, guys. We have to do another episode, but we have to stop this episode. Should we go live again and you guys can join us, or do you just want to wait until it airs on YouTube and Spotify?
Somebody said you're a personal oracle. And that ain't
hilarious.
That is the truth.
Let us know in the comments, guys.
She said, yes, go live.
Okay, that's one person.
Yeah, 2 live. Everyone's saying live.
Everybody's saying going live. Go live. Go live. Go live.
How many go lives are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I'm not doing it till we have 20.
8, 9, 10,
20.
11, 12, 13. They all saying live. They love didn't I say they would love the live shows?
Did we get to 20?
I don't know. We've been at girl.
I'm gonna count just to be official for the His Givers.
1,
yeah,
2,
because you know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
we
8.
in the game. We in here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, guys, that is another episode of It's Giving. If you have not yet, if you're on YouTube, please hit that button below, get subscribed, hit that little bell so you get a notification with each new piece of content that drops. We are bringing it every week. Again, I got to say major shout out to my girl, Anissa.
Yeah.
Shot by Anissa, not with a gun, but with a camera. Okay, that's
Her.
my girl. And we got Kenny over here, producer, creative director. Major shout out to you.
Let's go. Let's go.
What's up? Who is Kenny V? Check him out. And guys, coming very soon. If you're watching live, don't pay this part any attention. But if you're on YouTube, go ahead and click below. There is a new ebook for how to become a more high value feminine woman. If that's for you, make sure to get that ebook below. Love you guys to life. You are freaking phenomenal. Bomb.com. Nothing can stop you but you got to do something about it. Love you guys. Mwah.